Well, Harley has launched their new 2025 bikes and there are a few significant changes to the lineup. All the bikes got new colors which you can check out on the website, and I've said this before on the channel, Harley's paint is the best in the business. The Road and Street Glide stayed the same but got major price bumps, while the Street Glide Ultra has been updated to the new chassis fairing and mid-output 117 engine. There were no changes to the trikes at all. Likewise, there were no changes to the CVOs other than a price bump, but if you can afford a CVO, you don't care. For the less CVO inclined, the Sportsters got a significant price cut, with the base Nightster now costing $10,500 US and $12,500 Canadian. This bike cost $13,500 USD when it debuted, but has had significant price cuts over the last 2 years, and I suspect this is because it's not selling. It wouldn't be that bad looking if Harley could redesign that enormous radiator and hide it better like Indian did with their Scouts. As it is, it's an eyesore. But the big news, of course, is the new Softail lineup, which got the biggest revisions, as well as the new Pan America ST, a bike that could be successful and may be the fastest Harley around a racetrack or on a twisty road. For all the details on these, please stay tuned, and as always, if you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing, liking the video, and sharing it with friends. Starting with the Softail's 117 engines for everyone. You get a 117 and you get a 117, except the Softail Standard, which got scrapped. Quite frankly, that bike never lived up to the standards of fit and finish of Harley's other models. The 117s are not all the same. The Street Bob and Heritage Classic get the Relax 117 with a 98 horsepower and a mere 120 pound-feet of torque. I have to say, I like the classic looking air cleaner on these. Very reminiscent of the Evo. The Fat Boy and Breakout, as well as the new Street Glide Ultra, get the 104 horsepower, 126 pound-feet of torque 117 engine from the Street and Road Glides. Finally, the Lowrider S and ST get a high-output 117 motor which spits out 114 horsepower and 128 pound-feet of torque with a more aggressive cam. Additionally, all the Softails get the same rider modes and lean-sensitive electronics that the baggers have. Lean-sensitive ABS and TC should be welcome safety features for most riders. The rider modes are accompanied by new switchgear on the handlebars, which looks a lot more like the hardware found on the baggers. The Street Bob also finally gets cruise control, about time. And the Lowrider ST and Street Bob lose the minimalist dashes that they used to have in favor of more conventional round displays. All the Softails except for the Fat Boy and Breakout get a new 2-into-1 exhaust. And on the Lowrider ST, the lower exhaust finally allows for the same size bags on both sides. One of the biggest complaints about the previous model was that the staggered exhaust necessitated a smaller bag on the right side, which looked goofy. Problem solved. Prices rose, but not by that much, under $1,000 USD, with the Street Bob 117 only going up by $200. However, the Heritage Classic, which is $500 US pricier than last year's model, now comes with an ugly set of mag wheels which almost no owner will like. Laced wheels are now an option, which costs $800 US and $1,000 Canadian. The Street Bob switched from lace to mag wheels a while ago, but now also brings laced wheels back as an option for the same price. Let's get real. These are supposed to be classic looking bikes, so most riders will opt for the classic looking wheels. My feeling is that they should have been standard on these bikes as they were originally. So, are the Softails better than last year? Yes, the engine and electronics upgrades for a relatively small price seem worth it. With these tweaks, the Softails are now clearly better than the Indian Chiefs, which have not been upgraded in some time. They are more expensive though. I particularly like the Evo-style air filter covers on the Street Bob and Heritage. As for the new exhaust, I like it on the Lowrider ST because it allows for symmetrical bags, but would prefer the staggered dual exhausts on the other models. I also like the previous minimalist dash on the Street Bob. On the Lowrider ST, the bigger dash doesn't matter as much because it's hidden behind the fairing, but the clean look of the Street Bob is definitely disrupted by the bigger dash. Furthermore, I prefer the gold wheels on the old Lowriders to the black ones on this year's models. Yes, they were probably a pain to clean, but they looked better. However, despite these niggles, the new bikes are a step forward, and if I was in the market, I'd seriously consider the new Street Bob. With laced wheels and forward controls, tall sissy bar, and a coastal package. Nice looking bike. The Street Glide Ultra got upgraded to the new frame, motor, and fairing and comes with lowers, top box, comfy seat, taller windshield, and a few other goodies costing $30,800 US and $38,300 Canadian. But the second biggest news after the Softails comes from the Pan America camp. The Special is back with an unchanged price, and for that same price you can also get a Pan America ST. This is the bike that will appeal to all those riders who get Pan Americas and never take them off-road. For the ST, which stands for Sport Tourer, Harley has reduced suspension travel from 7.5 to 6.75 inches, swapped out the 19 and 17 inch wheel set for 17 inches front and back with street rubber, put on a shorter windshield, less bodywork, removed the engine guards, and added a lower seat to make this bike a mean sport tourer. This motorcycle weighs 542 pounds wet, considerably less than the 569 Special, and can be spec'd with sport touring bags. It still has the rider modes, electronically adjustable suspension, and lean sensitive everything that the Special has, and also incorporates Harley's seat lowering tech where the bike drops down and stops. This is all for North America. Foreign markets get lower spec bikes. This bike looks pretty exciting and should be the fastest Harley in the curves or in a straight line. Given the popularity of the king of the baggers, this is the bike, not the CVO Road Glide ST, that will perform and handle most like the race bikes in the series. It is quite similar to the previous 17-inch wheel Ducati Multistradas and other sport tours which have married the adventure bike upright riding position with 17-inch wheels and sharp handling to basically replace the old-style sport touring bikes of yesteryear. Pan America sales are down, probably because Adventure Bros and Harley Bros don't overlap much, but this bike may change that, especially with the new seat height. The Pan America Special has a tallish 33.5 to 34.5 inch seat height, but with the smaller wheels, shorter suspension, more scooped out seat, and Harley's self-lowering suspension trick, the lowest version of the Pan Am ST now has an unbelievable 29.4 inch seat height, which will make it accessible to almost all riders. If you've wanted a big adventure bike but were put off by the tall seat, you may finally have your big ADV right here. Would I get one? I'd still get the Special as I like riding off-road, but can definitely see the appeal of a $20,000 US 540-pound super bagger. I can totally see guys getting these for their wives because they're lighter than the big baggers, then returning them because their wife smoked them on their road glide. If I was to imagine a perfect bagger, this would be it. It even has a quick shifter. I hope I get to test one this summer. So was it a successful launch? I'd say it was a mixed bag. Higher prices on the best-selling street and road glides are definitely not welcome, and there were some other minor complaints I mentioned earlier with exhaust and gauges. However, the lower Sportster prices are a good thing. Maybe that's because they're made in Thailand now, though so are the Pan Americas and their prices didn't change. Also, despite some criticism, the Softails are objectively better and not that much more expensive, so that's a win. The high-output lowriders should be fun, as should the new Pan America ST, the only true sports tourer Harley makes. So all in all, not a bad showing, and despite the fact that the Indian Scouts have clearly pulled ahead of the Sportsters, the Softails are now clearly better than the Chiefs. The baggers should be interesting this year too, as Indian has just upgraded theirs as well, but that video will come out soon. So what do you think of the 2025 launch? I have to admit, it's good to have genuine competition in the American cruiser market forcing innovation. Which were your favorite or least favorite new Harleys? Are you going to look for a deal on a leftover 2024? Please share your thoughts in the comments below, ride safe, check out these other videos which may be of interest to you, and may the spokes be with you.